Hey, welcome back, everybody. Angel Abundance here, financial physician. Welcome to the AlphaStrong Network. Today we're bringing you guys another show for Faith Tech Finance. This show is, just what I would say is more of like a passionate perspective on all things related to faith, finance, and technology. Okay, and it's all from a biblical perspective, and it's all designed around giving you as much information and empowering you with as much, your tools and resources that you need in order for you to be successful in your life. And whatever area that is, whether it's your faith, your relationship with God, your, how you want to live, your personal development, all that, right? Your spiritual, mental health and everything, physical health, but then also your relationships, right? Your relationships with others, your relationships with the people around you, how you want to be successful in those relationships, whether it's with you and your employees or your staff, or maybe you and your bosses, or even more importantly, the relationships that truly, truly matter, which is your relationship with your spouse, your significant other, your children, your family members, your friends, your brothers and sisters in Christ. And then ultimately, we want to make sure that you're successful in your area of your professional life, your finances. Make sure that you have the tools and the information for you to make wise decisions, to be a good steward. And that's really what this is all about. It really comes down to stewardship. And I'm not talking about stewardship from a financial perspective, and not just that, but I'm talking about your stewardship of life, the life that you have, the gift of time that while you're here on this planet, what are you doing with it? How are you being a good steward of that time, of the resources that God has put in your care? And again, it's not just talking about finances. It could just be, your mental capacity, your ability to learn and to do things, right? The fact that you have 2 arms, 2 legs, nose, 2 mouths, or 2 mouths, a mouth and 2 ears, 2 eyes, and the whole deal, right? So all that is a resource. All of that is a blessing, because there's people that aren't born with those things. So you got to think about it like that God has given you this body, this life, and you have a certain amount of time, and you don't know how long that is, but while you're here, while you're still breathing, you should be using your life, to better the kingdom, to expand the kingdom, to help others, to help humanity, to do something productive with your life. That's what I mean by stewardship. So that's what we teach here on this channel. That's what my life is all about. That's what AlphaStrong is all about. That's what we're dedicated to doing. And we're not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're not ashamed to tell people this is what the Bible says. This is what we believe. And it is what it is. It's black and white. Whether I agree or I don't, it is what it is. So we're not going to shy away from that on this channel. And I hope you guys can respect that. Look, not everyone agrees. Not everyone has the same kind of faith. And I understand. And I'm not trying to take that from anybody. But, it's okay. It's okay if we disagree. It's okay if we don't, don't see eye to eye. Like, I'm okay with that. So looks like we didn't set right. All right, here we go. There I am. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's what we're trying to do here. Now, let's see here. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So obviously, the market has been pretty bad. Again, we're talking about things faith, finance, and technology. So we're going to talk about finances right now. I want you guys to know the economy is in a really bad situation. If you didn't know, okay, it's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse. I've been in the financial services industry now for 20 years. I've been in mortgage and real estate, for the majority of that time. And the past 8 years, I've been in mortgage on the fintech side and the financial technology side. And so I've been in the industry. I understand where we're at. I understand where we're at with rates and stuff like that. But it goes much, much deeper than just simply raising interest rates. And I want you guys to understand that. And it's very easy for us to forget, what it is that we're trying to do. So my son is over here off camera. He's trying to take something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's doing over here. What do you got? What are you doing? Nothing. You're being a sneaky sneak. Don't make me turn the camera around over here. Anyway, sorry, that's my son. They're helping me. They're part of my staff. What can I do? I'm putting child labor. It's all right. Listen, the market is kind of bad right now. Okay. But here's the thing. It's not over. The worst is yet to come. Following financial markets and, being involved in crypto and finances and financial coaching and all that kind of stuff. I always just want to be aware of what's happening. And, we really think about our economy, and you really have to think about just macroeconomic stuff, and you have to just see past just interest rates. Okay, guys, it's not just about interest rates. It goes much, much, much deeper than that. The monetary policy of this country is garbage. It's been garbage since pretty much Nixon took us off of the gold standard. Anyone who is in finance could tell you that. They know that the U.S. is virtually a Ponzi scheme, and I know I'm probably going to get shut down for that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you really study, economics and the way things work, and the way the money printing and everything that's happening, the way the U.S. sells debt to other countries, that's basically how the U.S. makes money and is continuing to operate. Is just by issuing debt. I mean, it's basically what dollars are. If you guys didn't know that, a dollar, pull it out. Pull out a dollar bill right now, or any size, a bill. And you'll see on there, it says legal tender, right? That it's guaranteed by the U.S. government, by the U.S. Treasury. So that dollar is essentially a debt that the U.S. government was at one point, supposed to be. You were able to go in and redeem that dollar for what? For gold. There's no more gold. I can't take that dollar and go redeem it for something else. It's not tied to anything else anymore. So you can see that's basically what it did by taking us off the gold standard. And so now the U.S. is issuing debt, is issuing IOUs. That's what dollars are. Okay. And countries and governments around the world, banks around the world, right? Everyone's buying our dollars because, let's face it, a dollar is pretty secure. The U.S. government is pretty secure. It's not going to go under. So it's a pretty safe bet. You can put your money in there, and there's likely the value is going to go up and so on and so forth. It's not. It's going down, but that's what they try to tell you. But essentially, that's what dollars are, is debt. So, which is why the U.S. is in a really, really bad situation. We have over $30 trillion now, pretty much. And we printed about 40% of the supply of money that we've ever issued in the history of this country. We've issued 40% of that money. We've printed 40% of that money in the last 2 years. What do you think that has done to the value of our dollars? If all of a sudden you printed 40% more, isn't it logical that the value of those same dollars has now been reduced by 40%? I don't know, it makes sense to me. So when they're telling you that we're at 8.5% inflation, it's probably much higher. Like realistically, it's probably like in the 20-30% range. But they're just telling you 8.5 just because if they told you the real number, you'd probably like faint or die or something. That's the reality, guys. That's kind of where we're at. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening around the scenes. The U.S. is in a lot of trouble, and if we don't do something, if we don't try to solve this soon, it's going to get worse. And unfortunately, these rate hikes, 0.75 basis points, whatever it is, it's just a small Band-Aid. Like, we're gushing blood right now. Like, we're literally dying. We got gunshot wounds, like multiple gunshot wounds, and we're trying to patch it with a Band-Aid. That's what that 0.75% interest rate hike was all about last week. It's not enough. It's not enough. We need some surgical triage here. We need like battlefield triage here. We need to stop the bleeding. We need to cut. You know what? We might lose a limb. Okay, guys? Sorry. Big banks, you guys or people who, over leverage themselves, all that kind of stuff, people doing stupid stuff when all the money was flowing. You guys probably don't deserve to be in business anymore. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I'll be the first one to say it. But that's the reality. Because what's the alternative? We bail out everybody again? Do the same thing that we did in 2008? We're going to be in the same situation. Look, this is how I see it. The market is cyclical, okay? Every 7, give or take years, right, we have a recession, right? It's just a market correction. We pump, and it's time to, hey, we got to scale back and we keep going, right? Well, in 2008, Okay, and that was basically the full crux of it, right? But really it started in like 2005, 2006, and I was in the mortgage industry and the default servicing business. I was the repo man. When you didn't pay your house and the bank had to foreclose in the house, I was the guy to give the house to fix it up and sell it. I was an asset manager and I managed foreclosure properties around the country. That's what I did. So we started seeing our foreclosures numbers rise like a lot in 2005, 2006, leading up to 2007 and then into the crash of 2008. So the writing was already on the wall. We were already seeing it happen. Okay. So it's cyclical every 7 to 10 years. Now, let's just draw the line. Let's say it was 2008. Okay. Just for argument's sake. It's now 2022. Okay. In 2017, 2018, we should have had a recession back then. We should have gotten into a full recession, and we didn't. Okay. So because we didn't, we basically prolonged it with quantitative easing and the money printing and all the crazy stuff that the government was doing to help prop up the economy. What did that do? All that did was just kick the can down the road. It extended the cycle. But what's happened now? Think about this. So instead of having a normal market correction, 7 years or so, 7 to 10 years, it's around 2017, 2018, which should have been right on time. Okay. It might even happen even before that, 2014, but no, not really. 2017 was about the time when we probably should have had that recession, but we didn't. We punted it down the road. It's now 5 more years later. So from 2008 to 2022 is now a full 14 years, basically a full 2 cycles. Okay. Because of all the money printing that we did during the pandemic and everything, okay, we basically propped the economy up. It should have totally tanked, right? I mean, we think about it. We told 300 million Americans, hey, you're not going to work. Stop working. But we still have to keep paying people and printed all this money and giving money, free money, free money, free money. Guess what? Nothing's free. Now we're paying for it with the $7 gas, okay? As well as real estate taxes and a bunch of other stuff. But think about that. So that means we now have two full cycles worth of buildup. What do you think that next crash is going to look like? If in 2008, the market dropped, I think from the high in 2006 or something like that, down to the lowest low, I think it was 57%. Okay. Most average portfolios, 401k, dipped around 40%, 45%, somewhere around there. Okay. It took us another full, 4 years to get back to the market highs before the 2008 crash. 4 years to get back to where we're at. I think the S&P, I think, was like at 1,500 points or something like that, and it dropped down and went back up. But it took 4 years to get back to that. Now, how long do you think this recovery is going to take? If we now potentially have a market turn, a recession that is massive, okay, because we've basically punted it down the road and eventually it's going to have to happen, how long is the recovery going to take? It makes you wonder. If the last time it took 4 years to recover 57%, give or take, how long is this one going to take? How far down are we going to go from the market high? It's estimated that it will probably be somewhere in the 75 to 80% range. It's possibly likely. I was watching a story about Michael Burry. Michael Burry, if you don't recall, if you don't know who that is, he's the guy who called the market crash in 2008. He was the one that bet against Wall Street and the credit default swaps and everything that was going on. So for those of you that have seen the movie The Big Short, he's the guy. Okay, he's the guy who basically called it. He has been for the past few months, 6 months to a year or whatever, being saying, hey, we're in a really bad spot. This is going to happen again. From this point, when the market's already down today, June 20th, right? The market's already down quite a bit. He's saying from this point down is probably at least another 50%. Okay. Now, in correlation with that, when you look at Bitcoin, everything that we've been saying is that, the past market cycles, Bitcoin has dropped 85% from the highs. That would bring Bitcoin around 10,300. Bitcoin right now is around 20,000. So if it does drop 50%, you say overall the entire market dips about another 50%, that would put us around the $10,000 mark for Bitcoin. Maybe he's onto something, right? I mean, he doesn't believe in Bitcoin and everything. He's totally against crypto and everything. But from a market perspective, that's kind of what he's calling for on traditional markets. It kind of correlates with what we've been projecting is probably going to happen with crypto, with Bitcoin. So it's possible. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of people that just have no clue. They have no idea what's really going on, and they're scared. And you should be. If for those of you that lived through the downturn in 2008, you know how tough it was. I mean, the amount of foreclosures, the amount of joblessness, it was, I mean, I think we reached double-digit unemployment numbers and the whole deal. It was really bad. Okay, it was really bad. How bad do you think it'll be this time? We potentially have like where everything could go wrong, could all happen at once. That's pretty much kind of where we're at right now with the economy and everything, the amount of debt that we have, the money printing and everything that's been going on. It is possible. It is possible that we have a huge downturn. A lot of people lose jobs and everything. Real estate, it's going to go down. Personally, this is my opinion, guys. This is not financial advice or whatever, but this is my opinion. I've been in the industry for 20 years. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. I could be completely wrong. Okay, I could be full of crap. No worries. But check this out. In 2020, okay, in my neighborhood in Irvine, California, you could find homes all the time, listings all the time. They were all over the place. Homes in our area, let's say like a 2-bedroom condo, okay, 2-bedroom condo in the area that we live in, Irvine, was selling around $750,000, okay, give or take. Last year, 2021, and even early into 2022, you could not find like virtually anything on sale. Like every listing that was popping up was taken off the market under, multiple offers under contract very fast within days. Just there was there was no inventory. And we're looking, right? We're just watching, just seeing what's going on. Rents are rising. Rents are going like crazy. A 2-bedroom in our neighborhood can rent for $4,000. It's ridiculous. It's just stupid how ridiculous expensive it is. Right now in June, today, if you look it up in our neighborhood, okay, from a few months ago when there was nothing listed, you cannot find nothing. That same 2-bedroom was selling for $950,000. Okay, so up $200,000 in a couple of years. It's ridiculous. It's just stupid. People shouldn't be paying that much for a 2-bedroom house, okay, a condo. But right now, if you go online, if you go to Zillow or wherever, you will find our entire neighborhood, the entire neighborhood has just flooded with listings. Okay. You're not going to see the impacts right now, but in a few months, when all those properties are listed already now, and you hit your 60-day mark, you hit your 90-day mark on the market with not closing, what is likely going to happen? If you want to sell your house fast, you're going to lower the price. You're going to need to beat everybody else, right? Because you want to get more traffic, you want to get offers because you want to be the lower one. And then what's going to happen? It's right domino effect. That person just dropped. Oh, we need to go a little bit lower. Oh, we need to be at least at the same price. Oh, we need to drop. And if the inventory doesn't move, which think about, it's going to be cycles here. Interest rates have gone up. People are not going to be able to qualify for as much home anymore. If the economy really starts to suffer and people start to lose jobs because interest rates going up will likely cause some jobs to go away. It's going to eat into people's profits. They're not going to have enough money to hire so again, it's all cyclical. So now what does that do? Now you have job losses. People can't make their payments, even though, right now they probably can, even though their house might be for sale or whatever. But that is going to then cause more problems because if there's not people who can qualify to buy your house, they're going to sit on the market longer. You're going to have to lower your price, and it's going to continue. This is what happened in 2008. The market gets saturated with listings. You have to lower the price eventually. And just so you guys know, we were already seeing foreclosure numbers. Okay, we're already seeing foreclosure numbers rise. I'm sure if you look at the data, it's there. You can see it. So that's telling you more and more people are not paying. And so that is probably going to lead to Now more foreclosures flooding the market. Banks already are incurring a loss, and they're willing to take a loss. They can afford to take the loss. You can't. So they will lower the price so that they can compete and sell the property as fast as possible and recoup their losses, because the faster they sell the house, the more money they make. The longer it sits on the market, the less money you're going to make. That's just how it works, okay? So now you see moving forward over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, leading into 2023, the market is probably going to go down really, really bad for real estate, okay? So just be prepared. If you're not selling right now, if you don't need to sell, don't sell. If you have a nice cushy job and you're fine, you're comfortable, just keep making your regular payment. Don't worry about it. Even if the values go below what you owe, it's okay. What I saw happen in 2008 is people freaked out. The moment that their values went down below 2000 or below what they owed, they just stopped paying. And then eventually their house got foreclosed on and they lost it all, whatever. But had they just waited, and this is for people that can afford to make the payment. Look, if you lose your job and you can't afford to pay, you can't afford to pay. I get it. But if you can afford to pay, just keep paying, because eventually the economy will come back and real estate prices will come back. In 2006, I was in the industry, just got married. We were ready to buy a house. My mentor at the time gave me some solid advice. I followed his advice, okay? He told me, Angel, just wait. Look, at our foreclosure numbers are climbing. I've been through this before in the 80s. Like, just sit back and wait. Like, I have a feeling things are going to get bad. We're already seeing it. We're seeing the first, outcroppings of it. But I followed his advice and didn't buy. Now, in hindsight, I did the right thing, because the market, sure enough, tanked or whatever, and we would have been upside down or whatever. Okay. But at that time, we were trying to buy a house. It was around $600,000 in a nice neighborhood. It was like a 4-bedroom townhouse. It was brand new, brand spanking new development. Now, had I bought that house for $600,000, today that house is worth like 1.5 million. Right, that was 2006. It's 2022, so that's 16 years. From 600,000, if I doubled my money in 16 years, I mean, that's not bad, right? But the point is like, the real estate would have gone up. I would have been fine. But as long as I would have kept making the payment, no harm, no foul, right? So that's kind of what I'm saying is, if you can make the payment, just keep making it. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out about what the price is right now, what the value is right now. Just keep making the payment. And as long as you have your job, you're good. Focus on maintaining that house so that when the values do come back, you have a solid asset, and you're going to keep paying down the principal. So you're going to have plenty of equity and you'll be okay. Now, for those of you that have equity right now, okay, I want you to think about something. If you see a potential that you're going to potentially lose your job or something like that, where you're not going to have the money to be able to maintain the house, if you have equity in the house, and normally I do not advise this, okay? But if you have equity in the house, it may be an option for you, okay? To talk to your CPA, talk to your financial person, whatever it is. But if you were to refinance it, pull some of that equity out, have it sitting on the sidelines, in case something were to happen, enough so that you can continue to make the payments, right? Were something to happen, enough to weather the storm, right? Till the values come back or your job comes back or whatever else. At least, a good 2 years cushion. So if you ever to pull some of that equity out, it may be an option for you, because you probably don't want to sell. You probably want to stay with in your house and everything. So, pulling some money out, leaving it on the side. Don't go buy a boat. Don't go spend it. Don't go on vacations. Don't do that. Okay. Don't put it in crypto. Don't put it in Bitcoin. Well, maybe a little bit or something, but just be careful with that. That's your safety net. This is your long-term emergency fund. Put it somewhere, maybe in a money market account. Just let it sit there. Don't touch it, just in case. But what are you doing there? You're separating the equity from your home. So if you do lose your job, you can still keep making the payment. You're fine. Because if you lose your job and then you need to try to pull out the money, the bank is not going to lend you the money, because you do not have a job. You cannot afford to pay them back. But if you do it while you have the job, then the bank's okay. Right now, home equity lines of credit, HELOCs and stuff like that is another option. We just have a line of credit. But if the credit keeps getting scaled back and it dries up, they'll freeze those lines, and your safety net freezes up, right? You won't have access to that line of credit. So just be careful with that. Don't think that the HELOC is going to potentially be your safety net. Something to think about. The other thing, by separating your equity, right, the money from the house, is that, having this now frees up this capital, right? When it's in the house, before you pulled it out, before you refinance or whatever, it's locked up in the house. You cannot touch it. You cannot access it. Doesn't matter how much equity in there, right? I mean, you can't just go and pull it out from an ATM, right? Unless you have a line of credit or something like that tied to the house, you can tap into that equity. So it's something to consider, because otherwise it just stays locked up. And what would suck is if you lose your job and you can't afford to make that payment. You got a ton of equity. You could have $1 million of equity in that house. And if you can't afford to make that payment, let's say you only owe $100,000, the bank could come in and foreclose on you with all that equity in that house. And you're not going to get a dime of it. So, I mean, potentially you could do a short sale or something like that, and then you recoup whatever the difference is, whatever. But short sale would imply that it's less than what you're going to sell it for less than what you owe. But the idea is, you want to try to maximize that. So if you can try to pull some of that money out right now, while you have the equity, while you have the credit, good credit and stuff like that, I would say do that. Because then, let's say you don't lose your job and now you have this money sitting there. Yeah, sure, you can pay off the house and make sure put that money right back into it and keep that equity. Or you can take that money and you can actually put it to work. You could actually invest it in something else, maybe another property or something else that's going to go up in value. And now you have two appreciating assets, right? Because you've separated the equity from the home, and now you can go and use this equity somewhere else in some other safer investment, other types of financial instruments that could help you in your long run in your financial future. So something to think about. We are going to continue to broadcast stuff. I'm working on some technical things here. Hopefully the cameras look better. Hopefully the audio is good. We're going to continue to try and improve the show. I'm going to make sure that you guys are getting value from this. We will be, bringing on guests and talking about different topics. If you could help me out right now, if you could come in, if you're watching this, whether it's live or not, if you could just drop in the comments topics, things that you would want to talk about, things that you want to know about, anything related to finance, anything related to technology, anything related to faith, ask me down below, let me know. Let's see where you're watching from, anything like that. We want to make sure that you guys are, okay, I don't know what just happened there. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting real value from this. And the way we know that is if you respond, if you guys, give us some feedback. And so we're looking to you guys to share with us, what is it that you actually want to know about? If you want to know more about crypto, we're going to be doing some more shows about crypto for sure. Other types of investments, real estate and insurance, different things like that. But we definitely want to cater to whatever you guys, the audience, wants. So go ahead, drop me a comment below. Hey, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you can get the latest and greatest news and stuff that we have coming out. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified when we do put out a new video or go live. And we're going to continue to put stuff out here that is going to honor Jesus. And we're not ashamed of the gospel in any way, shape, or form. I'm not afraid to go on a tirade or a rant every once in a while. So just be prepared for that. I'll preemptively not apologize, but just warn you that may happen. I may raise my voice. I might go crazy on somebody, but especially when I see just crazy, stupid stuff that's happening in the world right now. This whole thing with gender and everything else is just stupid. Look, I have nothing against anyone as an individual, as a person. I love everybody, like seriously, but there's just some really stupid stuff going on out there. When you're letting 6-year-olds decide what their gender is, okay, you know what? You don't let a 6-year-old decide what they want, okay? They're going to eat stinking popsicles and gum all day, okay? You have to make decisions for your children because they're children. You're the adults. You can't expect them to make wise decisions when they're 6 years old. They're a kid. They're a child. They haven't fully developed mentally. Literally, their brain hasn't fully developed. So the fact that you're letting them make decisions about their gender because of how they feel or whatever, like it's stupid. Like seriously, don't get me started on that. But it's just dumb when you really think about it because, they talk all this stuff about science. Oh, the science. Well, the science tells us that you could want to be a woman all you want, or I could want to be a woman all I want. But my DNA and the science tells me that I'm a male. Every single cell in my body is a male cell. Okay. The only female cells in my body are in my, area down there. They have yet to be born. Okay. So, I mean, come on. It's just so dumb. But yeah, let's let a 6-year-old make life decisions. Now, I think it's Bill Mayer. I think I saw a meme of Bill Mayer. I don't necessarily agree with his political views in any way, shape, or form, but it was a meme, so it just popped up. But he said something like, we're letting 6-year-olds decide what they want to be. Like when I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a pirate. But if my mom had taken me to go remove my eye and get a peg leg surgery, like, yeah, thank God my parents just didn't let me do whatever I wanted at 6 years old, right? And the idea, right? It's just stupid when you really think about it like that. Well, yeah, why are we taking the kid to go get a sex change? He's 6 years old. He has no idea what he wants. Let him develop. Let him turn into a adult and then make the decision for himself. But don't sit here and tell him that he is whatever he says he is. That doesn't make no sense. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox. Like I said, I may go on some tirades once in a while. It's okay. That's normal. But listen, I really appreciate you guys watching. We're just starting out. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on. We're going to continue to share these things with you guys little by little. We're going to reveal to you guys first and foremost. So our audience are always going to get sneak peeks. We are working on some behind the scenes stuff, some community things, and some kind of stuff that you guys can get involved and find out about all the things that we have going on, different partnerships and associations that we have with different ministries and different organizations, different people out there that are doing cool, fun stuff. So if you want to support, obviously, we definitely would appreciate your support. And I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about like prayer and just wanting to get involved. If you guys want to come help or whatever, hey, we'll accept the support. But if you're far away and you can't come help and you do want to give financially and help support this channel and what we're trying to do here, hey, we'll help. We'll take your help. But we'll give you guys some ways to share and the work that's going on here. And if you guys want to give and be a part of that, then we'll figure out a way for you guys to do that. I do have a Patreon page and a few other ways, but yeah, probably next show I'll share how you guys can give and support the work that we have going on here. So, all right, with that, thank you guys very much. God bless you. I love you. I hope that you guys are staying safe out there, being smart with your money, being smart with your faith. Protect it. Make sure you guys are guarding your children. Make sure you're teaching them your values. That's your responsibility as a parent. It's not school's responsibility. It's not the church's responsibility. It's not Sunday school's responsibility. It's your responsibility. So make sure that you are being the example for your children and for this world, and making sure that we are sharing the love of Christ in any way, shape, or form that we can. So with that, God bless you, everybody. Have a good day. Peace out.